Growing a garden outdoors is a great way to learn alongside children. Plants may thrive and you can celebrate together. If they don't, you can work together to figure out why. Either way, gardening connects us to the seasons and the natural world and builds an appreciation for the farmers that produce the food that we eat. Getting started. Gather your garden team. Invite staff, parents, and community members to be a part of deciding where, when, and what to plant. It is valuable to gather input and ideas from the broader community. Also, different members of the community may be able to offer time, energy, money, or in-kind donations to planting and maintaining the garden. Deciding where to plant. To find the perfect place for your garden, consider these 3 things. Your garden will need sunlight, water, and needs to be accessible. It is important that the location of the garden receives as much sunlight as possible throughout the day, between 6 to 8 hours ideally. On a sunny day, visit the garden a couple times throughout the day to see where the shade falls from the trees and the buildings. Any area that is not in the shade for most of the day would be a great place for a garden. Consider where the nearest water source is, whether it is an outdoor spigot or a hose, or if the watering cans can come from inside. The best location for a garden is a space that is easy for young children to walk to. Choose a spot that children, families, and staff already walk by every day, even if it is a small area. Once the location is chosen, seeds can be planted directly in the ground or in raised beds. Raised garden beds are built up above the ground using wood logs or cedar for the sides of the beds. Then the beds are filled with soil and compost. Many of the materials for a raised bed can be donated by a local farm, nursery center, or hardware store. The advantages to this type of bed is that there are fewer weeds, the beds are easier to reach, and the sides define the garden space. The disadvantages to this type of bed are that they do need consistent watering. Seeds can also be planted directly in the ground once any grass or ground cover is raked away. In this case, it might be helpful to test the soil that you will be planting in. Your local extension office can provide a soil testing kit, and the results will explain what could be added to your soil for more nutrients. The advantages are that this is affordable and that this type of bed requires less watering. The disadvantages is that this type of bed is more likely to grow weeds, and it may be stepped on without defined borders. Gardens can also be grown in containers big and small, in pots and wagons, and in old sandbox or gallon milk jugs. Plants will grow in just about any container that is deep enough and has drainage holes for excess water. The advantages are that these gardens are affordable and they can use recycled containers that you already have. The disadvantages is that they will need consistent watering and they will need holes for drainage. You may also consider keeping a bed just to be a digging bed. Some children will just want to dig for worms. Make a small space where children can use small tools such as trowels to dig for worms and to get their hands in the dirt.